right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2016 MRDA Championships. I am Justin Credible, and so are you, and I am joined by
Jumping Spider right here in the building with you, man.
And here we go, and we got San Diego, Vancouver. I believe this is the battle for 9-10. We are looking at watching both of these teams. Vancouver obviously new to the scene. San Diego new to the scene last year. This could be a really good game. I mean, everybody's like, oh, 9-10, whatever. Like, no. This is probably going to be a really good game right here.
Well, we talked all yesterday, even during the JRDA bout that we had, but this has been one of the most exciting tournaments I've been at.
Yeah.
Even though all of the seedings and all of the matchups have gone chalk in the traditional sense, the higher seeds have won. But Vancouver showed a really, really good team. They were very poised for their first time out in their loss to Southern Discomfort. And the San Diego Aftershocks had a really good game in their opening round loss yesterday as well. So like you said, this is going to be a very competitive game.
Well, think about what we've seen so far today. We saw your mom, Texas. And then just again, your mom was your mom and pulled it out. And Texas is almost there, but they're not there yet. But, man, you're like, it's going to break.
It was an edge-of-your-seat game.
Yeah, one of these years, that thing is going to break, and they're going to destroy everybody. You just feel it in your bones. And then all of a sudden you saw Bridgetown and St. Louis. And that game, up until towards the end when the score pulled away just a little bit, was an insanely good game. So we've seen nothing but great derby play. This has been one of my favorite tournaments of all time, and I've done a lot. So here we go. We have the hero from the last game and hero all season, Beang.
Oh, Beang was an animal yesterday. He had San Diego on his shoulders, and on the other side, Mr. Testosterone was carrying the mail for the Vancouver murder.
He's an absolute beast. He really is. So here we go. 0-0, 10 seconds left until derby time. 30 minutes going to go on the clock. Battle for position. Both these teams hope to maybe do a little bit more in this tournament, but they're happy to be here, and they're going to go at it.
Mr. Testosterone knocked out by Optimus Grime, forced to recycle, and a cut is going to be called on Mr. Testosterone. He is just barely within that.
Yeah. He did not make it past the point of no return, which is awesome.
Opening power jam to the Aftershocks.
And you're already seeing Vancouver bleed a little bit. They might be a little excited, bleeding some penalties right now.
Double blocker in the box as well. 3 blockers on the box compared to a full squad for the Aftershocks, and Beang through easily for the opening jam grand slam.
And you can't give Beang any more reason to be amazing. Don't give him this power jams. Don't give him all these big openings. You have to stay right on him. He's too big, too powerful, too fast.
Justin, in your experience, when you have this kind of a game, it's a consolation bracket game. Both of these teams might still be tired from the games they played yesterday, because even though they lost, they both played in some very fierce 60-minute competitive bouts. What's your mindset going into a game like this?
Well, you got to look at it this way. The pressure's off. I mean, the pressure's off. You're not playing for the championship. You're not playing for a medal anymore. So that dream is gone if you had that dream. So what you're playing for is to play the absolute best game you can right now. If the game pulls away one way or the other, you're making sure your newer players that maybe this is their first tournament get an opportunity to play so they have some experience for next year. Sort of like in football when you put in the backup quarterback, you know,
right.
type of thing. For these guys, Vancouver's happy to be here. Obviously, this is their first year. San Diego, this is only their second year. They lost a lot of players, a lot of them to your mom. So they're really looking to just do the best job they can. There's no dream left. They just want to win the game, and they're going to have fun because there's no pressure left at this point.
Vancouver taking the lead on this jam as number 8 Lodge has the advantage, jamming against Sir John for the Aftershocks.
And think about it this way: none of them they didn't get beat. Or they did get beat, but you're looking at some respects they lost some of these games a little bit too. Maybe you didn't have the best game, whatnot. You come back and win this game, you want to redeem yourself. You want to leave on a high note, you know. One way or another, you want to make sure you had the best tournament you could.
Lodge with a grand slam on his first pass, and he is now fighting against that triangle blocking formation of the Aftershocks. Shoves one blocker out of bounds, passes his teammates, and he is going to have points on this pass, another 5, and that'll lock the game up at 10.
Yeah, in this game, I would say San Diego is probably going to be considered the favorites in this game. 10-10 right now, obviously, but they're going to be looked at most likely as the favorites. So they can't give Vancouver a lot of openings, and in reality, Vancouver can't give them any openings. They're going to play a nice, clean game because, like we said, you have like people like Stang out there, and when Brett comes through, he can mess up your whole world real quick, you know?
What I saw from Vancouver that they're going to want to combat yesterday, they were able to hang tough with Southern Discomfort for about 10 minutes of both halves before they looked like the fatigue caught up to them, maybe element with the floor, maybe even an element with the different climate as opposed to, British Columbia coming down to Texas. So they're going to want to play a complete game, complete 30-minute half, both halves.
Absolutely. And out here we got blackmail and harassing Ford. And we're going to have a power jam for Vancouver, so they need to take advantage of the opportunities here when they can. And here's a big one early in the game. Harassing Ford, very powerful. Vancouver, and maybe it's a Canadian stereotype, but everybody from Vancouver looks like a hockey player. They are built like hockey players. And some of them are missing teeth. I saw that. So.
Even Steve Nash.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But looking at these gentlemen from Vancouver, I got a chance to talk to a couple of them. Great guys. Absolutely fantastic team. Tons of heart. Happy to be here. They're going to be back, and they're going to be a perennial, I believe, as going forward. But they look like hockey players. I'm sorry, they do.
Oh, most definitely. I mean,
yeah, a lot of these people are. A lot of people in roller derby, men's roller derby, happen to be former hockey players. So
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Mr. Testosterone, another man with a very stout build, back jamming for the Vancouver Murder, did not get lead on his first time through. We will have a power start here as Blackmail is still in the penalty box for the Aftershocks. Nice block there in the rear, most of the pack.
Nice,
by Vanilla
nice.
Gorilla, but Mr. Testosterone is the lead jammer.
Yeah, I like Mr. Testosterone. I think he's got a lot of talent. He's obviously strong as a horse. Watching him play, look at that. I mean, he's just a pinball, but then Beastang had him dead to rights.
Just a bit of intimidation coming around the last turn there.
Yeah, Mr. Testosterone is one of those guys you'd love to have on your team just for sheer strength and capability of changing it up on people.
Neatly avoids the track cut there as Blackmail is out of the penalty box with the star stashed right now. He is dealing with the combined efforts of Payne Threatsky and Iron Fist in the black jerseys. Now we do have a pass. Beastang in possession of the jammer cap. And Mr. Testosterone will call off the jam with 4 points in his pocket. So Vancouver with the early lead, 24-10, about 6 minutes gone here in our first half of play.
And there's Waterbuck. Good to see him out there. Now, this is the first opportunity a lot of us have gotten to see Vancouver, and I've been nothing but thoroughly impressed. I think they are an up-and-coming team by all means.
And in MRDA you have, or in MRDA, you have a lot of teams that might not be able to make it to championships either because of travel, and so some teams get moved up in the final season ranking standings because of that. And so Vancouver was a barely unknown team when I watched the preview that was done by Muckety Muck and our friend Gil down in St. Louis. They hadn't played that many sanctioned games against high-level opponents, so for them to come out and play the way they have at this championships is very telling of their skill and preparation.
Yeah, absolutely. They remind me a lot of Southern Discomfort the first time we came across. We're like, man, there's a lot of talent there. They just needed some time. They remind me of those, and look at Southern Discomfort now. I mean, they're also a team that's going to be moving up every year.
Already Lodge is having a very strong game to open here. He's got another grand slam. A lot of blockers will be heading to the penalty box, a pivot, and another blocker in the box for the Aftershocks. So easier road for Lodge to ride through. Now another blocker.
Yeah, Vanilla Gorilla just slid in and low blocked on that one.
Lodge with the open freeway. I'm not sure what you call a freeway in Canada, but whatever it is, he's just going through it right now, and he's going to call off the jam to prevent a San Diego score. Another multi-pass jam for the Vancouver Murder, and so they're firmly in control of this game.
If you're out watching this, make sure to go onto Facebook and let us know, what do you call a freeway in Canada?
Is it just a freeway? Because I mean, it's different all over the United States.
Direct that directly to Jumping Spider. Hey, Spider, it's called a blank.
Justin didn't screw this up. I did. I would take full responsibility.
Well, I hope you're tuning in, Canada, because your team's making us proud right here, making you proud. And there we go. Good job by Beastang. Let's clear out that box, back them all the way up. Got to clear out the penalty box, that right out penalty box. And 38-10, so good job by Vancouver. They've taken advantage where they can.
But now Beang with the jammer defense going to back Kremli G. Budakra all the way up to turn number 2. And he's going to try and hold him back. Interesting strategy here by the Aftershocks.
Yeah, remember, Beang does have a couple world champions. He's seen this before. He knows how to clear out a penalty box. Oh, and he draws a penalty, so power jam for Beang.
Yep, he forced KGB to the inside, and he dragged that right foot on the track while he was, or just off the track while he was inside with his left. So a critical power jam here. Smart play by Beang. Aftershocks with a chance to get back into it.
Yeah, and going back to that, with all the satellite and whatnot, Beang does have a couple championships with your mom. He's very experienced, and he plays at a higher level than maybe a lot of people that on teams of this level, but he's bringing his whole team with him, and that's what we want. Bring the entire sport up with you.
And he's been I remember him with the Aftershocks when I was at Mayday Mayhem 2015. So he is a veteran of this team, and obviously a high-level player, but when you have a high-level player like that on a team that you're just starting with, it makes you want to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. And then his wife, obviously, Fritz, great player, played with Team United a bit. Close friend of theirs, Crow, played with Team United. So, there's a huge San Diego-Des Moines connection.
Nice.
Des Moines a lot nicer atmosphere as far as weather and whatnot, obviously.
You just love Des Moines, man.
Well, would you rather be on a beach staring at an ocean or be in Des Moines? I don't know. I'd rather be in Des Moines.
Tornadoes are a big deal. Beang with a nice jam there, 9 points, as he was able to force a track cut from KGB, as we're going to have a timeout, team timeout taken by San Diego. They are coming from behind now, 38-19, as Vancouver is doubling up San Diego.
Let's talk about Pro Design. Pro Design Inc. has been making protective products since 1986. And has everything for your protective needs. Go to www.prodesign.com and check it out. All right, and do the rest of that one. Right on top. What does that say right there?
All right, and yeehaw for Texas.
There you go.
Yeah, I was wondering when I get to say it this weekend.
You get all the yeehaws you want.
Oh, okay.
For those who don't know, Jumping Spider and myself are both northerners down here in the
Yankees.
southern states. Yeah, both from the Midwest. But you yeehawed pretty good. We're not a yeehaw type of states
I
here.
do what I can. I have a very funny story I guess we can tell. My mom, when I was coming up, did not want me to listen to hip-hop, so we listened to jazz, we listened to NPR, but she got me into listening to the country music station. And this is mid to early 90s country music. They played a lot of George Strait, George Jones, Alan Jackson, not so much Waylon Jennings, but country pop was just coming in. So I grew up on all of that, Shania Twain.
Do you know who else is a huge country music fan? Really, honestly? Rollamite.
Really?
Rollamite, if you go karaoke with him, he does Devil Went Down to Georgia, and he does it very well.
Oh, Charlie.
Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Daniels is a fire starter, man.
Yeah, that's Rollamite caught everybody off guard when he went up and started doing some country. He's a boy from Philly. Come on, Philly. People don't listen to country, do they?
Philly soul is. Hey, you never know, man.
That's Motown Philly.
Back to action out here on the track as we see if we can get some smooth soul skating from the Vancouver Murder, and they do have lead jammer through Harrison Ford. If anybody is wondering, and I love when skaters do this, Harrison Ford's number 1936 is a direct reference to Indiana Jones.
Nice.
That is when his adventure started at the University of Indiana. Now we're going to have a power jam as Sir John going to the penalty box for I believe the second time in this bout. So another power jam for the Vancouver Murder here, looking to add on to their 38-point total. Nice clear out by Nelson, but a good block by Blackmail, forcing Harrison Ford to the inside of the track. He comes back up. No pass, no penalty called by the inside track referee. He calls off the jam with 5 points in hand.
Yeah, and a penalty calls right at the end, out of play call. Now, looking at this swing back and forth here, I never say whether or not somebody wants it. Obviously everybody here wants it, but there just seems to be a little more intensity on the Vancouver side right now.
Well, like you said, like we've been saying, this is their first time at championships. Might be more incentive than might be a very great incentive for them to really show everyone, hey, we're here, we can compete, with any of the teams here, and this is their last chance of the weekend to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've proved a big point here. Everybody's going to remember who the Vancouver Murder are, and we will see them every single year, I'm sure.
I'm definitely going to remember who Mr. Testosterone is.
Oh, yeah.
And he does get lead jammer. No pass, no penalty called on Sir John coming out of the penalty box. And Mr. Testosterone going to have he shows him what he's made of in the lower body areas. He forces Sir John out, then gives him another shoulder block for good measure and another one. These two jammers are going at it. He said, come on with this shoulder, man. I've got it for you.
And then he gets lit up.
Optimus Grimes said, stay off my jammer, son.
Oh, Mr. Testosterone got me, just smiled at him.
And another nice hit by number 10 of the red jersey. God, I've loved watching the action this entire tournament. A great mix of physical play and skill and agility. Mr. Testosterone going to give a knock of his own. And none of these jammers are afraid of any kind of contact.
Look at that. Just when he thought he could get it, look at that. Optimus was right there to take him out again. Mr. Testosterone smiled at him a couple times, and after those last couple hits, he wasn't smiling anymore.
He wasn't smiling after that one?
No, I think one of those last ones might have hurt a little bit.
I've got to say, you said that a lot of the Vancouver players look like hockey players. Optimus Grime opted for the Nord look. He's got the twin braids, I believe, and that's intimidating in itself with that full beard.
Yeah, he looks like he should be wearing armor and carrying an axe. It's a large mammal right there.
Beowulf lives.
But yeah, looking out here, though, I mean, there's obviously skill, but both these teams are kind of built like bruisers if you look at them.
And that's what's amazing to me is that you can tell that Lodge, Mr. Testosterone, very compact players, guys that can throw the proverbial punch, but also very, very fast and very quick in close quarters. And Lodge showing off that quickness to get lead jammer here.
Yeah, Lodge been very impressive so far today. 47-23, Vancouver with the lead. And Beang getting hung up right now.
Beang very quickly into the pack. And he is going to grab 1 point. That shows all of you young jammers out there, any of the Jurda guys that might be watching this stream, speed and quickness and hustle is everything.
Yeah, never give up on a play.
Beang could have left it out there, but instead he grabbed 1 point, and that's 1 point for each team on that jam. So we have our first wash of the game.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a good point. Never give up on a jam. As a jammer, you're going for every point, and as a defender, you have to run from the points too, because you don't want to give up. Every point counts, and you're seeing some of these games that are kind of sneaking closer and closer. That Your Mom St. Louis game could be a really close one, and every point and every penalty is going to matter.
Zimmer now on the line. His first jam for the Vancouver Murder. And he will be lead jammer. Vancouver getting the lion's share of the leads so far in this first half is Waterboy jamming for the San Diego Aftershocks on the catch-up. Zimmer ducks a hit from Optimus Grime, calls off the jam. Vancouver has really been asserting themselves in this first half. They lead 52-24, 15:07 left.
All right, Left Turn Clothing, Derby owned and operated, high-quality athletic apparel for men and women, where fashion meets function. Left Turn Clothing. That doesn't say where. That says were. Somebody needs. I'm going to go all grammar on them here.
I did not write up the forms this time. Any of my friends will tell you that I'm a bit of a grammar. I don't want to use the typical term. I'm a stickler about it.
Stickler. We'll go with stickler. All right, we got Beang and, as you put it, KGB out there.
Kremlin G. Budakra, and he is able to get past the block of the San Diego Aftershocks for lead. I believe that's 4 consecutive lead jammers won by Vancouver. Quickly back through number 68, and it looks like his bench is going to tell him to use some clock here. Jammer's still out on the track for San Diego, but he's going to keep going. Forced out by Beang, pulling double duty as usual.
And that's just too easy right there. Something is just not clicking right now with San Diego. This is not their typical gameplay right here. They are just there's just something not going right in their on their team. If you look at them, They're not really together on the bench. They're not really getting too excited. They're not really giving that extra effort. Something's going on with them that they need to solve right now, or they're going to lose this game. This game's going to get out of hand real quick.
I was going to ask you in the opening, is KGB with another grand slam, what the keys to the game would be for either team. But right now, it seems like you said it, San Diego needs to get together and really go all in and really get together as a team.
There's no sense of urgency here, and that's a 15-point jam so far for Vancouver. And here goes 20 points. And look at that, there's no urgency on San Diego at all. They seem to almost be resigned to what's going on around them. Now, whether that's just patience going, it will come back to us or not, look at Vancouver's side. They are hot. They're ready to go. They're talking. They're happy. They're excited. And look over at San Diego, and they're just not. They're just kind of bland right now, you know, not doing much.
It does look a bit desultory on the San Diego bench, but we are just about two-thirds of the way through this first half, and looks like a spirited effort here from Sir John just before he is forced to the inside. Sir John, number 1222, really trying to get started here in this game. He's had a couple of penalties while jamming, and he's going to have to come from behind here again against Lodge, who is lead jammer.
Oh, and I'd be remiss not to mention this as well, is I was asked on Facebook, because a lot of people can't see logos and stuff back there, is Vancouver Murder. They're like, murder? And I was like, it's got a crow on it, just like a murder of crows. So it's a tough name, but they're talking about crows, people, so let's not get too worked up.
I mean, we didn't give them the name. They picked the name.
They picked their name. It's not my fault. I don't think it's my fault.
Both teams trying to get set. One blocker in the box for Vancouver, but they're doing a very nice job holding back Sir John. And Lodge with a quick step to get past T. Doss. That's a grand slam for Lodge, number 8.
Lodge with already has 37 points on the game, so Lodge is coming out party right here.
He had a tough game yesterday against Sodisco, but you can tell he is a very capable jammer, just had trouble with the Sodisco blockers.
Yeah, this is just coming out to the world, just saying, hey, I'm here, pay attention, you're going to know my name next year. And you guys can't hear it at home, but Lady Scratch down here, the DJ for the weekend, has been fantastic. But she's all over the place. She'll go from Pantera to, like, Carpenters. Like, and it's great. Every song is fantastic. She just got a warped little mind, and I love it.
Beang jamming for the San Diego Aftershocks against Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is out first, so Vancouver continuing their dominance in this first half. They pull lead jammer once again. Walker and Svensson holding back Beang. With a teammate in a triangle blocking formation, they do force him out of bounds. Harrison Ford into the pack for his scoring pass.
Yeah, look at Beang. I don't know if he's tired from the previous game still or this game's wearing him down, but there's just not a whole lot of pushy effort right there from him. And he wants a high block call, and he's not going to get it.
And Harrison Ford is through the pack, and he has the natural grand slam once again. Well, you know from watching, Beang is not only a veteran, he is a great percentage of his team's offense.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
He plays both ways. He blocks and he jams.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, they have 24 points, and he's scored 20 of them so far. I mean, he is it ends and begins with him. And it seems to be, the personnel of the team is also going to follow Beang right now. He's a mellow dude. He's a great guy. But if he's down, look at that team. The rest of the team's down. We're on the other side. The other side is all like Mr. Testosterone right now. They are just jacked. Every single one is ready to go,
I'm really, really excited to see what Vancouver does, not just today, but in the future.
And maybe this is the spark they need right here is Waterboy's back in. And Waterboy has been fun to watch all weekend.
He has one blocker to beat and stand aside. Nice job by number 4 in Vancouver. He was the last line of defense before Zimmer came up to help, and he was able to hold him back long enough, and they do eventually force him to the infield.
Yeah, Zimmer with some great defense right here. Zimmer about half the size of Waterboy, but doing a ton of damage here.
Mr. Testosterone with one scoring pass in the books, going to take his time on this one. Steps past one block in the rearmost of the pack, but ends up out of bounds and has to recycle behind a Rowdy Rod Buster. Nice block by T-Dog.
All right, there's a lot of talk. They want a cut call there. They're not going to get it.
I think that was the best defense that we've seen from San Diego in this half since the opening minutes.
And it's a long game. There's still 8 minutes left in this half. Then you got the second half. But they're really not doing anything right now. And it's shocking because I love San Diego. I'm always impressed by them. There's just nothing really going on right now. I don't know if Vancouver's gotten to them or if they've gotten to themselves, but they are really bland right now and not really pushing.
Well, you know, any number of factors. You don't want to. You can always speculate, but it's always tough to see exactly what a team is going through, especially from our position up here.
Yeah, and you don't know if. I mean, honestly, Vancouver's playing a fantastic game. Fantastic. Not taking anything away from them. They're playing a great game, but I don't see San Diego playing that same level of game right now that we're used to seeing from them.
Very true. Sir John finally through the pack unscathed. He is not lead, however. KGB is within the pack for his scoring pass. Calls off the jam.
And still no more points for San Diego. So clock ticking away here in the first half. And
looked like the inside jam referee, Rockety Roller, was considering raising one of those fingers, but she kept that fist closed tight. Vancouver on the hunt for the century mark. 95-24 is our score, ticking down to 6 minutes and 40 seconds left here in our first half.
And here we go. We got Beang and Lodge, both fantastic jammers on the weekend. Oh, and Lodge is going to back him all up. He wants to clear that bench, and Stang's like, I'll just stand here. He's not going to chase him.
He took his move, and he tried to throw it back at him, and Stang is not going to be enticed.
Stang, I think, is just going to look around. Can you just release those guys from the box, please, get this thing going? He's like looking around like, really?
That's a veteran.
There's just no reason to chase them. We know what they want. He wants the box cleared. As soon as he gets that, he'll come back up.
I mean, I like the aggressive play from Vancouver. I mean, San Diego threw it at him earlier with Beang with the jammer defense, and now they're going to, they learned very quickly.
Yep, there we go. And Beang makes him pay for it, and Beang will be your lead jammer.
That's the savviness of the veteran. San Diego Aftershocks with their first lead jammer in quite some time as the Rydell Skates penalty box is clear for both teams now.
Oh, and good job by Beang staying on his feet right there. 1 to beat, gets his hips around, calls it off. But Lodge got through too. Lodge picks up 4.
Wow.
So Beang may have got a little greedy there trying to get the 4th one and gave up 4 on the other side. It should have taken 3-0 on that.
Well, at this point, with San Diego having run into this buzzsaw in the first half, you want to get as many points as you can. But like you say, you don't want to let the other
4-4 does nothing for you. And
exactly.
And we just went down. The clock just went down in the stadium.
We're going to have a stoppage of play here.
Yep. So what you're seeing at home is fine. They're not seeing it here, and the refs want to see what's going on.
You might have to see our faces, folks. I know.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I mean, my afro is not quite on point, on par.
Yeah, me neither.
But, if you got to deal with us, you got to deal with us.
Yeah, when you guys do see us on camera, don't adjust the camera. We do look that much alike.
What's the old saying? Do not adjust your set. We control the horizontal and the vertical.
We are not brothers. We look like it. It's not true.
It's a Forrest Gump moment, man.
All right, so Spider, I think we beat it to death here, but I'm looking down there right now, even during the break. There's no energy coming out of San Diego right now. There's nothing going on. I'm not saying they're a bad team, not saying anything wrong with them. There's just not anything going on where Vancouver is playing the best we've seen them play. This is not San Diego how they played. Now, I don't know if that's Vancouver taking them out of it and it's breaking their heart, or if they just aren't bringing any energy with them right now.
Well, as I said a minute ago, there's any number of reasons that that San Diego could be facing this deficit that it could have been taken off of their game plan, but I don't know how much these teams have played. They're both West Coast teams, so you would speculate the idea that they would have had a chance to see each other at least once this year. However, we did say Vancouver came in undefeated to the tournament in sanctioned games, and I don't believe that either of those was against San Diego. So it might just be the shock of them seeing a new team, playing a style and playing a kind of offense that they're maybe just not used to. I mean, roller derby, we haven't gotten into widely varying styles of offense from team to team. As the sport's evolved, it's evolved in a fairly consistent manner. But maybe it's just something they're not used to seeing from Vancouver.
Well, I think, and there we go. We got the scoreboard back up. Now, that'd be one thing, though, and you brought up a good point. Both being West Coast teams the way they are, maybe this is a team, if you're one or the other, that you want to play because they are still fairly equivalent teams. They could help each other out, become better. This might be a rivalry in the making. It'd be nice to see.
Oh, definitely. You want to see San Diego, who is this, like you said, their second time at men's champs. Really, these two teams help each other get better through competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Big fan of both of these teams this weekend. And we got Mr. Testosterone and Sir John. And Mr. Testosterone just bullies his way to the front and off and running.
Sir John having a lot of trouble operating against the Vancouver defense.
Oh, and Mr. Testosterone took out two. We have a player down, hit his head hard. I don't know if it's a head that hurt. It might be his shoulder, what he's grabbing there. But anyhow, we won't discuss it too much till we know anything. But Mr. Testosterone came in hard and took out two very large players. Now, we were talking about the matter of rivalries. You need to be able to find teams that make you better, you know, and with men's derby especially being still pretty scarce, the teams being pretty scarce across the way, you end up with a team like your mom who's kind of on an island and they have to play teams that maybe aren't to her level unless they go down and play like St. Louis, and they don't really want to play each other. You'll hear the eternal argument, well, St. Louis ditches your mom ditches St. Louis. No, they just don't want to play each other. Let's be honest here. And then you have like New York who's kind of out on their own, or they'll end up playing, you know, Mass was up
Mass
that level.
Maelstrom,
yeah. So with that, if you can find a team that's fairly equivalent that can just make you better by playing them like these two teams, why wouldn't you? You know, I mean, this is, you know, Drive by City, mix them in there. They're a fairly new team. They need somebody that's going to elevate their game too, because you're going to start getting some regional arguments here, Sue. You know, Midwest versus the East versus the West, you know, type of stuff. And we do that in the Midwest with WFTDA. That's how we met, by all given means.
Right.
You know, we want to see that on the men's side too, to get enough teams together where you get those rivalries going and you can start elevating your game together.
Well, it's a question, one, I think, of how the rankings are done and how you have to consider that when you're coming into a tournament like championships. You want those end-of-the-season rankings to get the best seeds you possibly can. Yeah. And that might be a question of, do you want to play a team that's equivalent to your skill level and possibly have a very, very close game or take a loss? Or do you want to play a team that might be a little bit distant from your skill level and win by a certain number of points to elevate your ranking?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's one reason why your mom and St. Louis don't like playing each other. Again, both sides will argue something different. Who cares what the truth is? The simple fact is they don't want to play each other. And the reason being is they like going in the tournament 1 and 2. It makes their life easier because you go in as 3 or 4, you have a much harder road, which shows year and year. Now, I mean, obviously Bridgetown came up hard this year, and so did Texas. They will be teams of the future, and he's being escorted off. And that is number 3. Is that Boo? Yeah, so hopefully we see something good coming out of that. And if we get any reports, we'll let you guys know. But you're seeing some teams really elevate their games this year, and you're going to see a lot of people retire. Obviously, at the end of this year, we're hearing lots of rumors from all the big teams of retirements. The new wave of teams is going to have to come up. Again, we have St. Louis and your mom going to be in the championship game again this year. But you're going to have a wave of new teams that have to come up. You know, Bridgetown is finally reaching that level that we knew they could reach. Texas is new on the block. They're coming up. Are one of these teams going to be one of the teams, you know, that comes up as well? Vancouver, Southern Discomfort. So, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have a full year between men's championships roughly as we're coming back to action here. B staying jamming for the aftershocks against Harass and Ford. But Both of these teams are going to have a full year after this to prepare. And if I was the coach or any of the players on one of these teams, I would already have next year's championship circled on my calendar. That's the goal.
Oh, yeah. And they both belong here by all means. So Beang will be your lead jammer, harassing forward stuck up in the pack right now. Beang will get out, and he'll pick up a 5-point grand slam. So there we go. San Diego starting to score again. And right now, 3-1 advantage for Vancouver. Will get chipped into a little bit as 10 points for San Diego. Oh, Beang goes right up the middle. He's had enough. There's the energy we're looking for from Beang to start scoring. And he's got a 15-0 run on this jam.
This is a big, big move for the San Diego Aftershocks. Beang trying to ride the outside rail, but Svensson.
Yep, and that should be a no pass, no penalty as well.
All right, I was a bit surprised at that.
Nope, they're going to give him a 4 points there.
Inside jam referee did change the call there late.
Yeah, I thought there might have been a cut, but okay. We missed some of it from our angle.
Oh, look at the move by Beang right there. Pivoting not once, not twice, but thrice, and then slowly just stopping himself and getting past Collins to get that last point.
And he has enough time for 1 or 2 more passes. 20 seconds left here on the jam clock. And he is up to, that should be 29 points now. 28 points, 29 points, there we go. And enough time for one more run here.
Beang, man, it looks like he's trying to do it himself once again.
And he'll call it off. Did he get all the points on that one? He'll get 4 points and a 33-point jam for Beang. Biggest jam of the weekend for any team, 102-61. And that is what I'm talking about. That's how San Diego gets back in the game.
And a performance like that, not only from a player on your team, but a veteran player on your team who has taken as much punishment and played as many minutes as Beang has this weekend. If that does not energize your teammates on the bench, I do not know what does.
And look at that. They just found out where the high fives were, and they're giving them out on the bench, and they are now getting ready to go. Now Vancouver just went, uh-oh. They came here to play, and now their bench has changed up just a little bit. Still a 40-point lead for them. And there goes Zimmer. Waterboy's still stuck, going to rotate it back. Zimmer, very versatile player.
Vancouver defense at the outset looked like, you know, all the black shirts looked there. It was like Waterboy was trying to fight through molasses. He could not get any purchase to get started. Meanwhile, Zimmer trying to cut down that San Diego run single-handedly by Beang on that last jam. Waterboy has extricated himself from the pack, and he is out into the open. Zimmer knocked out of bounds by Black Male. Looks like he's going to take his time. Wanted to call off the jam, and he does get the call, but Waterboy does grab a pair of points.
Yeah.
Looks like 3 for Vancouver and 8 total for Vancouver, 2 for San Diego.
Yeah, and I'm looking down here at the point. So Lodge sitting on 41, but Beang sitting on 57. So we've seen a lot of point farmers out here this weekend, and the harvest is really good for a few of them. Rolomite obviously having a great weekend points-wise. Beang, though, has been racking up quite a few points in the games he's been in.
Mr. Testosterone, no slouch in the points department. He is jamming once again for the Vancouver Murder. Beang on the line once again for the Aftershocks. A lot of great jammers have been out here this weekend. Reaper on the Southern Discomfort. Munster and Shreddy Mercury for Bridgetown played very, very well yesterday and today.
Yeah, Reaper, that was, okay, there was a question because Reaper's always amazing, but with Furio not on Southern Discomfort, who is going to pick up those points? And Reaper filled right in and goes, yeah, I'll take those points. Shroom's doing a great job as well. Blitzkrieg doing amazing.
And Shank McCoy, I liked what I saw out of him on Southern Discomfort as well. Mr. Testosterone going to be knocked out of bounds. Contacted Optimus Grime. Little meeting of the minds there.
Meeting of the meat right there.
It's like Beang might have sloughed the jammer cap as he is back on defense now.
Yeah, I don't think people can see from the cameras how large these gentlemen are. They are And I don't mean that in like a fat way. I mean that in like they're just big guys.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah. And a back block going to come.
One right there. He's a bit slow to get up. I mean,
if you didn't see that, so Mr. Testosterone gives him a back block, and when they're laying there, pats his butt, goes sorry, and then skates off.
Well, he hit him. He got knocked down. It looked like Mr. Testosterone got a hit in the upper part of his back and folded forward and might have hit Beang. And now Beang going to go to the penalty box for a back block.
Yeah, and he looked over and he goes, yeah, you're right, I did it. Beang's just trying to get his team hyped up. He wants to hit people right now.
Optimus Grime has been past the Jammer's cap, so we have a star pass on the Aftershocks. Optimus Grime twisting his way past the Vancouver blockers, but cannot find his way past Bennett. He will have to recycle.
Yeah, they just look, official review being called by Vancouver. I imagine they're going to review that hit by Beang, I would assume, to see if it was a egregious hit.
Maybe to see if there's a couple more points on the board.
Could be. Yeah, looking at this, though, there is some frustration kicking in. You can see that maybe San Diego didn't expect this team. And we did. We saw Vancouver play. We were thoroughly impressed by both of these teams. And Vancouver is just doing what Vancouver's going to do right now, and they are doing it very, very well. Take away one or two jams by Beang, and this game is an absolute blowout right now.
Well, it's like I asked you, when you're in the consolation bracket, you have to find something in yourself knowing that you're not playing for the grand prize. How do you get yourself up for the game?
Well, here's a good example. And again, this is just not a personal example. It's from a couple weekends ago. I was in Madison for WFTDA playoffs, and Team United thought they could beat Tampa off the bat and then go on to face Gotham and maybe work their way towards either the championship game or the third place game. They lost to Tampa. Tampa did very well by them. So Team United regrouped, had fun, and played hard and went right through the consolation bracket, beating everybody pretty well. And they did it with a smile on their face. The pressure has gone fine. We don't have to move on, but we're going to do everything we can. And they did it right. And that's what Vancouver's doing right now is they're doing it the best they possibly can. San Diego just looks deflated right now. And here we go. We're waiting for here's the call.
Now we're going to have the announcement from the head referee.
Vancouver is requesting that the back block on red 3158 be upgraded to an expulsion. The officials will discuss this during halftime, and we'll come back with a result after that.
Oh, so Beang, just like I thought, they were looking for an expulsion for an egregious hit, but they're going to make him wait till after halftime. So, all right.
All the suspense, ladies and gentlemen.
So 14 minutes, about 14, 15 minutes for the halftime. Come on back, see Spider and I, and we'll finish out this game. Stick around. This could be an interesting second half.
125-68, Vancouver with the lead over the San Diego Aftershocks. We'll see you after the half, folks.
Yeah, don't leave us on.
It's like I'm going to stare into the camera until I have to.
Let me grab this one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. San Diego versus Vancouver. Once again, I am Just Incredible, joined by
Jumping Spider.
All right, we got a 125-68 game. Vancouver all over San Diego. Now, take away one of those big jams by Beang, and this game is a blowout. Now, Beang, we haven't heard the official yet. Remember, right before the half, they were going to tell us whether or not that hit by Beang was an egregious back block, and they would throw him out of the game. I see him sitting in the penalty box, so I haven't seen if they're not going to toss him. He's asking for the captains right now out there. So we will find out the fate of Beang right now. A little drama.
Well, as you said, they requested that expulsion. And up here, the captains are coming now. We're going to be talking to the head referee.
Well, let's be honest. We saw it. It's right in front of us. It was an egregious hit. It was a frustration hit. Was it bad enough to warrant an expulsion? That's up to the referees. But it was a blatant hit. It wasn't an accidental hit. He went for the pop to knock somebody down. So they'll tell it right now whether or not Beang will be eliminated from the game or eliminate himself from the game at this point. But looking at this 125-68, San Diego's going to need to light back up here. Otherwise, Vancouver's going to walk away with this game. So hoping for a second half, a good second half here, Spider.
Definitely. You're seeing Vancouver, who is the new team on the block, so to speak, in this MRDA championship picture, really with a co-optation of sorts of San Diego's style.
Yeah.
They have been able not only to play fast, but also play very physically. and it has enabled them to get out to this lead. And as you said, without that 33-point jam from Beang, the team in the lead would be much further away than they appear right now. This is not necessarily a 57-point game as it is on the scoreboard.
You know they remind me of?
In control.
They remind me of Bridgetown. So they remind me of the big physical team. Oh, here we go. And here's the response from the referees to see whether or not we're going to keep a stang here.
From the result of the review before halftime, the back block call will stand. It will not be risen to the level of expulsion.
Okay, so there's the call. It is just, they're going to leave it as a penalty. Beastang's celebrating. They're just going to leave it as a penalty. I don't know why San Diego's down a timeout already in the second half, but they are. If you're looking at the scoreboard.
Well, that was an official review. I thought that was an official review requested by Vancouver.
And it was, but that was before the half, so it won't affect him on this side. And there we go, and lead jammer will go over to Mr. Testosterone as Optimus Grimes still held up by that big, strong Vancouver wall.
Not too many keys to this second half, really. Like to see San Diego put everything they can into 30 minutes of roller derby, try and close down this deficit. They're going to have a tough mountain to climb. Mr. Testosterone already through the pack with 4 points. Vancouver opens up the scoring here in our second period.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of this, I think, right here. Mr. Testosterone is going to run as much time as possible, call it off. They don't see San Diego as a threat right now, and San Diego has to prove that they are a threat right now. Make them change their strategy that they pre-planned at halftime.
You got to make the other team work much harder. Vancouver, not to say that they're not working hard, they do not appear to be overexerting themselves. And in roller derby, stamina and fatigue is always a factor, especially with, as we keep talking about, the surface conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we're harping on that. I'm sure other announcers have as well. But it is cushy out there, which makes it harder to skate, which is really tearing up people's legs. And there is your lead jammer. That'll be Lodge. Lodge has been amazing. What is his lead percentage ratio? 83% on the day. That's pretty good.
Might be going up after this jam. See if the Ringster stats have updated. Right now it's showing him at 5 leads out of 6 jams and a 36-plus point differential. 41 points totaled so far.
Yeah, Lodge has been awfully impressive and still impressive right there. And they just looking back at the bench. Bench says keep on going. Beastang isn't doing much right now. And right there, oh, that's a back block. Yeah. And Lodge like, yeah, I did that one. And he'll head off.
Going to send him to the Rydell Skates penalty box for the first time in this game, along with the pivot walker. So a power jam and a blocker advantage as well for San Diego.
Now can Beastang take advantage here? He's lumbering a little bit right now.
Now you can tell those head fakes and jukes aren't with the same quickness. He's not attacking as hard as he usually does. And I mean, he's played so much of this game and so much of yesterday's game as well. It's academic.
Yeah, right now he is just, there he goes. But if you see him, once he's picking up speed, once he's doing stuff, it's mental. He's recharging himself. But you can tell the body and the mind aren't on the same page right now.
Well, he was able to get that 33-point jam after a long break in play. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no. A cut call by Lodge, and that will extend Beastang's power jam. So he's got 10 points around. Now you're seeing him start to light up a little bit. The heart's starting to take over.
Yeah, definitely a bit quicker on these inside-out moves. Now able to stay in bounds. Ducks a hit from Nelson. And now Beastang on another run here. He's total 10 points now.
Yeah, and Beastang definitely, if he gets rolling, we talked about in the first half, he can cause some problems for another team. So it will be a power start for San Diego. That was a 10-13 jam in favor of Vancouver. And even though that was a win for Vancouver on the overall points right there, San Diego starting to maybe wake up a little bit again. We have to see if they can keep that ball rolling here.
Well, you've got to look at the San Diego stats right now. Beastang far and away the leading scorer, but he has jammed 9 times, even with the 77 points. The next leading jammer for the Aftershocks is Sir John with 4 out of 7 jams.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're going to need someone else to step up.
Yeah, he's the only one in positive numbers right now, positive point differential. Everybody else in the negative. And right here would be a good one.
Sir John with a chance right here, and he gets lead jammer, push Zimmer to the points to the edge of the point of play.
Yeah, Sir John had a great game yesterday. A little quiet here today.
Pack moving very quickly. Good awareness there to call it. I was wondering if he was going to get sucked into trying to grab a couple of extra points and allow Vancouver to pick points up of their own.
No,
But
tons
very
of time.
Good call.
Tons of time. Take your 2 or 3. You don't need your 4 or 5. You're going to risk giving up points on the other side. There's tons of time. All you need to do is chip away 4 or 5 here, 4 or 5 there. Make the game a little closer. Then you can get a little more aggressive. Optimus Grime and Mr. Testosterone. Once again, just powerful, powerful men right there.
Optimus Grime, we've seen a lot blocking and pivoting. This will be his 3rd jam of the game. Mr. Testosterone, as you already know, one of the stars for Vancouver. Do have a whistle, but it's like the Aftershocks pivot going to go to the penalty box. Optimus Grime forced to recycle.
Yeah, and that's Waterboy that will head to the penalty box. And not a whole lot of penalties in this game. That's always nice to see.
Mr. Testosterone was out free. Optimus Grime was chasing him down, but Walker with the hustle play along with Nelson to force him out of bounds and into the recycle. Great defense from Vancouver.
Absolutely, and Walker needs to be careful on that one. He went out of bounds without being touched to cycle back, and that's a skating out of bounds, so he's got to be careful on those. A ref will notice that, and you're going to get busted.
Mr. Testosterone with a nice jump of the apex on his last pass, back in trying to get more. Has one to beat and gets past T-Dog. That's another grand slam for the Vancouver Jammer.
Yeah, and both of these skaters, like I said, are just powerhouses. Oh, and that was
I know that move. I know that move he just did, and I cannot remember what the cartoon is.
I don't know, but
great.
they didn't see it on the screen. He jumped, landed on his knees, slid, extended his hips, and gave like a punch to the air. It was very impressive.
It looked like the Predator in Alien vs. Predator when he raised that hand and he blew up the alien temple. Want to point out Lodge and Mr. Testosterone fighting for that half century. They've got a little friendly competition here in point scoring. Both
Hey, look at this down
49.
here. I just see Spectral walking by for Southern Discomfort wearing your mom shirt, so we know who Southern Discomfort's behind for the championship game.
Oh, okay.
They have good friends in Des Moines. They're all good friends.
Fair enough, fair enough. I love to see the trading shirts out here as well.
Very nice, very professional. As they would say, they're trading kits. We call them.
Yep, kits across the pond.
Yeah. Oh, and Beastang trying to make something happen. He gets wiped out there. And that's a cut call. So Beastang will be on a power jam. Let's see if he can take advantage. 72 points on the day, quietly 72 points. Minus those couple big power jams. Not super active, but once he needs it, like right here, he takes it. And that's out of play.
Up, and that's going to be a penalty on Bennett. So lead jam, as you said, for Beastang. That is his 5th lead out of 10 times jamming. So only a 50% lead percentage, but he has scored almost all of the points for San Diego.
Yeah, the next closest point getter is Sir John at 6. So he's got 72 with 85 right now.
Beastang going to call off the jam right as the Vancouver Jammer comes out of the box. But another grand slam and a big credit. You have to give great credit to the veteran Beastang.
And he's got it down to 57 points. I mean, it's still doable. I mean, we're within 22 minutes. It's still doable.
I mean, he is one man with his team on his back right now, and he's trying to just will San Diego to stay in this game. Important jam here, Sir John, for the Aftershocks against Lodge of the Vancouver Murder.
And for those of you at home that were wondering, we did see Boo went through the tunnel underneath us under his own power. Had a little bit of help, a little bit of wobbliness, but under his own power, which is good to see.
So John was forced out by Svensson earlier.
Oh, and that's airborne. You got to be careful. No call on that. Walker went airborne and took out a player, and no call, so got to be careful on that one. And there's a lot of questionable hitting right now. An official review going to be called by San Diego. I imagine it's on Walker going airborne, take out a player. That can be an objectionable defensive, not just a penalty. That would be my guess.
Want to give a shout out as we have a chance for an official review right now. Antic Skate Boots, the original high top derby boots. owned by the one and only Quadzilla, who has been skating for Puget Sound here this weekend. You will see them, I believe, in the next game. Puget Sound will be playing the New York Stock Exchange. So visit Antic Skate Boots online at their website, or I believe at their shop in Seattle area. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Caught you off guard there, man.
Yeah, I was listening to you. I was just watching your lips, listening to you.
Don't watch my face, man.
I got to watch your face because it gets a little loud in here, so only way I can hear what you're saying. So back home to everybody there that's wondering about Spectral wearing the Your Mom jersey, it's Coulter's jersey. Spectral has not transferred to my knowledge.
Misconduct call on the Black Jammer in the last jam.
That's a very... So we're going to apologize to you guys. We will have a review of, I believe you were exactly right, Justin, that penalty that was called in the last jam, so the referees will talk it over.
Yeah, I'm not that smart. Some of the stuff is just that obvious if you're paying attention at home. And it is 90 to 150 right now. So we do have a 60-point lead for Vancouver.
Nobody really in penalty trouble if you look at the two teams. Four penalties for Bennett on the Vancouver side, and Svensson with 4 as well. Nelson has 3. For the San Diego Aftershocks, Vanilla Gorilla with 3 penalties. And then the rest of the team really sharing 2.
Yeah, the big story over there on the Aftershock side is 77 points for Beang. And then there's only the closest next one is Sir John with 6, whereas Vancouver's a lot more spread out. We got 49, we got 12, 13, 21, 52. So a little more spread out, a little more evenly distributed, which is what you want on a derby team. You don't want somebody carrying the whole load for you because they're just going to get exhausted. They can't do it an entire game, especially at this level here.
And obviously, when you play a game, lead jammer still gives you the advantage. And at the very least, you want to have a 50-50 percentage of leads. You want to have the advantage. Right now, Vancouver 18 times lead jammer to 6 for the Aftershocks, and only 5 of those for San Diego. On behalf of Beang, Sir John did get lead on that power jam, was able to grab 2 points.
Yeah, and I don't want to pick on the Aftershocks too much here because I know these guys. I've watched them play. They are all capable, world-class, top-level derby players. They're either Vancouver is messing with them that much that they're not showing it, or they're really not into this game, whether it's they're tired, whether it's physical or emotional. These guys can play better, and that's the whole point is I know they can play better, and they're not playing better, where Vancouver's playing an excellent game right now. The only time that they're failing is when Beang does get a power jam. They can't stop him, but not many people in the world can, so I'm not going to blame them on that one.
Well, that's a great credit to the Vancouver defense. Sir John, as you said, capable jammer. Blackmail did very well yesterday, as well as Waterboy, and they have relegated those 3 players to non-entities so far in this game.
All right, here we go, and they're explaining it here to the captains, Beang, and I can't see that, Walker over there. So they're going to figure out, Walker's going to stay on the track, so must not have, if that's the call, there's no penalty. Here comes the microphone.
Upon review, there will be no misconduct call made on the Black Jammer.
Yeah, so it was a misconduct attempt, so that official review won't go through. San Diego will lose that, and we'll move on with life.
San Diego right now in the story of timeouts and reviews. No reviews left for the San Diego Aftershocks. They do have 2 timeouts. Vancouver with all 3 timeouts and their official review remaining for the entirety of this game. 21 minutes, just above the 21 minutes left as the San Diego Aftershocks and Optimus Grime do grab lead jammer.
Yeah,
they
he
are
just
down
blew off the line, yeah.
150 to 90 is our score.
And I saw Optimus Grime and Mr. Testosterone smile at each other, and it scared me. Even when they're being nice, those are scary men right there. And I'm not a small guy, and they make me look tiny.
They were discussing things at the line. 4 points on that jam by Optimus Grime, and I've noticed that when there's been any kind of break on the track, those official reviews, San Diego has gotten some energy back. They were able to recharge a bit and come out of there with some fervor. If they can keep that up, they will be able to close the gap in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe it was yesterday's game just wore them down. It could be a million and one different things that I'm not going to speculate on. But they are showing a little more energy here in the second half. Vancouver not able to pull this game away yet. They are still, it's fairly close enough that it can still be done. And Beang definitely is getting a little more energy here in the second half. But he is still lumbering as KGB right behind him.
It's the first time we've seen Kremli G. Budakar in this second half, and he is right coming step for step with Beastang as the pack picks up the pace. They are already heading around the second turn.
And this is advantage Vancouver if they're going to make Beastang run, because he needs all the energy he can get to finish out this game.
Now KGB going to hustle up, grab his points. Beastang is lead jammer. She is forced out of bounds by stand aside. The blocker went out of bounds as well, so he was able to come back in.
And just a bad move there by the Aftershocks, not calling that one off. And they paid for it. It's a 4-0 jam right now. Vancouver, with all the strength, should have been towards San Diego on that one, and they call it off. So is he going to get 4-3 on that one? 3. So lose the jam 3-4 when they had complete advantage over that one. So not a wise move.
That's the question, right? Again, you want to win the jam, but you want to get points on the board. It might be better for the team to see points go up on the board rather than to come away with a 0-0 jam.
Yeah, I hear that by all given means. Sometimes you just need a little spiritual boost.
Exactly.
So 19 minutes left, 154-97, Lodge versus Sir John. And Lodge will be your lead jammer.
Svensson with another tight seal on the inside line. We want to call his name out a lot today. He's been blocking very, very well.
And 0-0 on that one, but that's advantage Vancouver as the clock continues to run. And after another 3 or 4 minutes, it's going to start becoming a real factor for San Diego if they don't start getting some points on the board. It's only 60 points, not the end of the world. But if you can't put points on the board right now, are you going to be able to put them on the board over the next 18 minutes? So.
Exactly. This is the time where you're going to be fresher now than you are at the end of the game. And these last 2 packs, the Jammers have had to work very, very hard. They've had to run. Mr. Testosterone against Optimus Grime. Is Beastang going to get a little bit of a break these next couple? Well, we'll see how they play him the rest of this half. Optimus Grime being held back by stand aside, and that gives Mr. Testosterone lead jammer.
And they just want to burn some clock here. If they can get a couple points, they'll be happy. So Vancouver comes in hot, goes airborne, Mr. Testosterone. Ow!
I'm seeing a signal from the head referee. We'll see what that shakes out to.
That's a 4-pointer. Here's the thing. If you didn't know who Mr. Testosterone was before this weekend, you know who he is now, and you're not going to forget him.
Oh, that guy is, like I said, he is like the conical bullet. Small, fast, very powerful, concentrated effort in a small area. He has been able to knock blockers out of his path as well as go around them.
Yeah, every year you find somebody that you kind of fall in love with and you want to see do better and really grow in the sport. I think Mr. Testosterone might be my guy this year.
I can see why. Now KGB on the line for Vancouver, number 68 in the black shirt. Beastang once again. He is knocked out of bounds by Svensson, but once again, the black blocker went out of bounds, and that gives Beastang lead jammer.
Yeah, here we go. See what he can do with it.
Move to the outside, a quick move around Collins. And that's going to give the full grand slam to Beastang. So once again, the one-man army for the San Diego Aftershocks continuing his point total assault here today. KGB in the back on his scoring pass now, I believe, as well.
Yeah, KGB tried to follow his blocker blast through, and they just Olayed let him through. And really, if they're going to come in that hot, they should really line up in a straight wall, turn their backs, take the hit, take the back block if they're going to come in that hot, but they're not. They're trying to catch them in a tripod, and it's not working right now.
That's one of the drawbacks to the triangle, where what you gain in strength and fortitude and blocking, you lose in being able to cover the entire track.
Yeah, absolutely is. You got to throw something else out, because if you catch somebody in a tripod, yeah, you got him, but you got to catch him first, and that's a very small net for a very, very big fish. So,
of course, an Iowa guy would be talking about fishing.
Hey, I grew up in the city just like you, buddy.
I was going to say, we fish in Chicago, too.
We got a helmet cover down.
Zimmer is off and running. He is the lead jammer for Vancouver.
Oh, Zimmer's just been all around a Swiss Army knife, just doing everything this entire game, this entire tournament. Big fan of Zimmer as well.
Exactly right. He's been able to play multiple positions, whether it's pivoting, jamming, and now he's showing his skill as a jammer right here. And he's going to get the full natural grand slam, another 5 points to his total. Zimmer's actually, this is his 4th jam, I believe, but he has picked up 22 points, and he's gotten lead jam every time out. So when they've needed to spell their 2 main men in Lodge and Mr. Testosterone, Vancouver's been able to go to Zimmer, and he's delivered.
Yeah, he's definitely impressed me this weekend, as well as all of Vancouver. He's got such a quick first step, and he's just tough. He's just tough. And tough skaters, no matter what level you're at, just stand out. And you just know the tough ones, and he's one of the tough ones.
Star was passed to payback number 417 of the San Diego Aftershocks, so the pivot now becomes the jammer for the team in red. Zimmer once again on a pass. He sneaks past Blackmail, and he is in the clear, and that's going to give him another 5 points.
And a 25-point jam for Zimmer. He's going to wait and call it off, so he got to burn clock and pick up 25 more points. And Spider, we're getting to that point of, is there going to be enough time to come back? And as we start passing this 13-minute mark, question is there enough time?
Well, I know a lot of announcers in a lot of sports always ask the question, what is the total, considering the teams, what is the point total that one team needs to reach first to win? I did not expect the Vancouver start that we had here, but I think once they got to 150, they might have taken the game away. It's 187-105, 13, just above 13 minutes left here in our second half.
Yeah, this is going to be the last time I think that San Diego is going to be considered the favorite over Vancouver, or a lot of teams are going to be considered favorites over Vancouver. They are proving their mettle, and they are here to stay, and that's going to be a cut on Lodge.
Just barely knocked his toe stop out of bounds. Good job up front blocking. I believe that was Waterboy for San Diego, as well as True Blocker. Blocker. Optimus Grime once again jamming for the Aftershocks, now on a power jam.
And Waterboy back in there as a pivot, trying to clear path.
Looked like they were trying to do the old school truck and trailer, and now we're going to have, I believe that's a forearm call, possibly?
I don't know on who, though. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's going to be over there against Vancouver. Thought it was going to be against Grimes there for a second. It wasn't. Right. So he takes his cover off, hops through, and the power jam is over.
No lead jammer here, so we're going to go the duration. 49 seconds left on the jam clock. Optimus Grime trying to fight his way past Collins, and does, to the inside line. And he will get 5 points. Nice job by Optimus Grime.
Oh, nice little power move on the inside rail. And Vancouver goes, really? Did that just happen? Yeah, that just happened.
Sleep at the wheel for a second.
Good job on Optimus Grime.
One of the few times this game that Vancouver has been just kind of floating out there, and Optimus Grime was able to take advantage. Looks like
Grime did it again.
Looks like his energy might be up a little bit. He rode that inside line. He's back up on his feet, so no cut called. But Vancouver able to regroup.
4 more points right there. So Optimus Grime putting up 13-4 on that one. So we're running out of time, but if they, they can pull off a 10-point win each time. I mean, they're getting there. They have some time to do this.
If you can get, that's the first double-digit jam by anyone not named Beang for the San Diego Aftershocks. Well, I mean, I'm being,
you're absolutely right. Beang's sitting on 88 points, and Optimus Grime at 22 now. He's the next closest. But again, if you look at the other side, 56 for Lodge, 53 for Mr. Testosterone, 37 for Zimmer. So, I mean, they spread out their point totals.
I mean, 29 for KGB. Harrison Ford has 16 points of his own. Double-digit point totals from all 5 of their jammers. And honestly, I want to make it clear, we're not disrespecting the San Diego Aftershocks on here. They just need scoring to come from somewhere else.
No, we're just disrespecting Beang.
Okay.
Just kidding, Fritz, if you're listening at home. Just kidding.
Timeout has been called on the track. Timeout has been called by Vancouver. That's their first charge timeout of this half. 191-118 to score, 11:03 left on the Jam Clock. Want you all to stay tuned if you've been tuning in with us this weekend. Thank you very much for listening to our stream via YouTube of this 2016 MRDA Championships Lone Star Showdown. Coming up next, we will have the New York Shock Exchange facing the Puget Sound Outcast Derby prior to our third place game between the Texas Men's Roller Derby Outlaws and the Bridgetown Menace. And finally, our championship game at 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time between your Mom Men's Derby and the reigning champion, St. Louis Gatekeepers, a rematch of last year. Justin, I know that's your squad, but
that's a rematch of every year.
True.
Except your Mom, their second championship, they took it over New York. So first time over St. Louis, second time over New York, third time over St. Louis again. Then they lost to St. Louis last year, and these teams look fantastic this year, so it's going to be a battle.
That's going to be a blockbuster. I cannot wait. Speaking of blockbusters, literally, Mr. Testosterone lead once again for Vancouver.
I need to shake that man's hand after this.
Beastang jamming for the Aftershocks, finding the going tough around Walker, and Mr. Testosterone has a fairly clear lane. San Diego having to play a lot of offense, and that opens things up for Mr. Testosterone. .110 was stopped for a moment. He's going to look to Walker to clear him a path, and he will find a way through.
And Mr. Testosterone, he pretty much makes one solid hit, and then he plows his way through. One solid hit, plows his way through. Watch it. There's the hit, and then he just kind of finds the hole and pops right through. I mean, he reminds me a lot of Magnum PIMP. He makes the one big hit, and then makes a hard move, and he's through. Not a whole lot of sticking in one spot, just kind of works his way through. It's very impressive.
What I always told my skaters back in, and shout out to the Peoria push that got me my start. Hope all of you are listening, or any of you who I worked with at Peoria listening, is 14 points for Mr. Testosterone on that last jam. Told skaters when they're hitting, when they're going for a hit, do not look to hit to the player, hit through the player. You're trying to go through them.
And that's an old football term. You're not looking to tackle the front of them. You're looking to tackle the back of them if you're in front of them.
And when you see Mr. Testosterone go into the pack, and KGB trying to do it as well, as he is jamming for Vancouver, looks like Sir John almost with the advantage there before being forced out.
Well, it's perpetual motion, too, when it comes to Mr. Testosterone, that if he gets stuck up behind a wall like KGB did, that it's hard to get through those tripods. He comes in with some steam, one big hit, adjusts direction, pops out the other side, and it's really hard to stop.
And if you're in that triangle, it puts stress on the other blockers in it, and it might make them move as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And KGB and Sir John both out there. Sir John reporting to the Rydell penalty box. And so it's going to be a power jam for KGB and Vancouver.
Under 10 minutes on the clock. If KGB can put up 10 or more points on this jam, that might spell the end for the San Diego Aftershocks.
Yeah, we're getting close to being able to call the game without a miracle here. And KGB more than happy to be patient here. Don't take a penalty. The clock is running. That's what's most important right now.
At this point, when you're Vancouver, you can afford to be patient.
Yeah,
how to use clock management. I said all day yesterday, the Bridgetown Menace is cutting the track penalty on number 68 for Vancouver. So Kremli G. Budakra will go to the penalty box, and that'll be a power jam with about 30 seconds more for Sir John. But Bridgetown Menace is their clock management yesterday in their semifinal game or their quarterfinal game. Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Textbook. If you ever want to know how to do it and you want to teach it to somebody else, watch that game. That was an amazing control of the game and of the clock.
And especially for a team that was making their second foray into into the MRDA championships, the way that they played, especially for being kind of an unexpected team to play the way they play as well as they did yesterday, they were able to keep their emotions in check, not try to get too many points, and run the clock late when they needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 point, but the clock runs is more important than trying to get 10 points on a short little jam. You want to let it run. There's 7:30 left here. You have 80-plus point lead here. Really, all you're looking to do at this point is get a couple long jams and make it just completely out of reach. It's not completely out of reach now, but it is really darn close to being out of reach right now.
Have a timeout, team timeout taken by San Diego.
Yeah, because, I mean, you got Optimus Grimes stepping up right now. Sir John hasn't gone off yet, but he can. We've seen him go off. You got Beang, obviously, out there. And Waterboy only has a couple points, and Waterboy was very, very good yesterday. So there is power on this team to make this happen, to pull this off, to shut down Vancouver and come back. But right now, Vancouver is impressing the world on how good they really are.
I want to shout out one of my all-time favorites from the Peoria Push that's watching the stream right now. Edwina P. Aldrin, Buzzkill Aldrin from Peoria Push. I mean, you're a Cubs fan, so it's whatever, but I always want to thank you.
Hey, I'm a
for
Cubs fan,
tuning in.
easy Sox fan.
Yeah, and I'm having trouble standing next to you, man. That stench of overhype.
Hey, we'll share the Bears. How about that one?
It's going to be a running pack here. Beang forced out of bounds, a big hit by Walker, and 3158 calls off the jam. A great saving hit by Zimmer.
Yeah, and they're going to let that clock's going to run. There's not much they can do about it right now. You can't burn all your timeouts right now. You only got one left. So this is a time where you're just going to put Beang back out, let the 30 seconds run, hope you can take advantage, a couple power jams maybe.
Before this, when they'd had a break on official reviews, San Diego would have been able to come out and get multiple point jams. It looked like they were trying to do the same there, but Beang unable to capitalize.
Oh, look what we got here. We got Mr. Testosterone, Beang, our two favorite players of this game.
Look, he's like a locomotive when he's starting to get going. His feet start shuffling, and then he's just going to power through.
Yeah, this is where you can stop Mr. Testosterone's. Get him behind a pack. If you give him any kind of momentum, again, it's just perpetual motion. He just plows through. So you got to just keep the momentum away. And Beang just took a massive back block.
Blackmail came over to try and help out on Mr. Testosterone along with Optimus Grime, but 110, just too powerful. He's going to give that lead jammer signal right back to Rockety Roller. And he knows that his Vancouver Murderer firmly in control of this bout.
Yeah, we're looking at 2:08, 1:21, 6 minutes left and clock ticking. I'm going to pretty much call this game at this point and say that Vancouver's going to take it pending a miracle. Now, the question is, with 5 minutes left, Spider, what do you do to finish this out? And I think you make sure all your players are in there. Make sure you're doing everything you possibly can. Play them top to bottom. Give them experience. They're going to be back next year.
Now, it looks like Zimmer is really working on Beang right now. And he knocked him out of bounds and is going to go all the way back. And there were some fierce hits by number 17 in the red stripe. Vancouver is gaining steam. I think October 2017 can't come fast enough for them.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and there are a half a dozen players out here that I think anybody would love to have on their team. And Mr. Testosterone, obviously one of them. Zimmer, another one. Zimmer, you can just plug in. You just like go play derby, and he'll find a place to go, you know?
Oh, definitely. Like you said, a Swiss Army knife type of player and a guy who loves to play the game. You can see it in the way he goes about it.
So, but congratulations to Vancouver coming in here first time at MRDA Championships and really beating a great San Diego team. I mean, just doing a great job. And harassing forward will be your lead jammer over Sir John.
Harassing forward. I gotta say, man, Indiana Jones, one of my favorite movie franchises. So this might be my guy.
This is your guy. This is the one you like.
This might be my sentimental favorite.
Well, we'll get to see them at the after party tonight. I'll be there for a little while. I'm sure you will be too.
Oh, of course. I mean, there's live band karaoke. If anybody is listening to the stream that's nearby or just inside the building by any chance, we want to see you at the after party. It'll be at O'Shea's Irish Pub, 310 Grapevine Highway in nearby Hearst, Texas. It's happy hour all night, a $10 buffet, and live band karaoke. If you send me a request on my Twitter feed at Quandary Kitten, KWANDARY Kitten, I will look that song up and see if I can sing it for you. So bring those requests in. I don't care how weird it is, how offbeat. If you want me to sing some Madonna, I'll go for it.
He will too. I mean, don't question him on that one. I'll be there for a little while. I have to be at DFW at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning to fly back to Iowa, get back and see my wife, my pregnant wife, very, very pregnant.
Shouts out to Leon. Leon!
Yeah. So Panda sitting at home. So love you, babe. We'll be home. But she's sitting in the new house with brand new furniture with the new baby on the way and just kind of hoping that there's not a new husband around the corner either.
Oh,
so
wow.
So we'll keep you away from my house for a while, good-looking guy like you.
You think she needed somebody to warm that new old couch while you were away?
I know. Nobody's allowed to sit in my couch because that's a new couch and it's going to be my butt print in it.
I heard that was a great story you told yesterday about that couch, man.
Yeah, she doesn't like that couch.
You got to have that comfortable couch at home.
Yeah, it's got plug-ins for all of my devices. It's got cup holders. It lays flat. And it's an electric recliner, too. You push a button. You don't have to work at it. It just reclines for you. And that's going in the main living room, which I don't think she likes. She thinks it's a little, man-padish, but that's all right. I'm not the only one. Women, men out there, both sides. Tell my wife she's wrong, that it's amazing to have that in the living room.
Everybody stay out of that argument.
Yeah, you might want to stay out of that.
Lodge, number 8 here for Vancouver. He's going to be chased down by Optimus Grime, though he is lead. And Optimus playing a little bit of defense as he's going to work himself back into the pack and force the long recycle
and
by
Walker,
number 8.
And Walker tried to flop on that, and don't do that. there's laws against that. Oh. And Optimus went down hard.
Another big hit delivered by Zimmer.
Dang.
Lodge is still lead. He is back in the pack.
Yeah, Grime's going to think twice.
Penalty box has remained pretty clear in the later stages of this second half.
And I don't know what Optimus Grime is going for. He keeps going towards the inside line, and there is nothing there. He's just tired.
That was Walker going to be called for a penalty. Bit of a battle here between Zimmer and Optimus Grime. Don't want to see it get too testy, especially when we've had such a good game.
Yeah, we're looking at 225-124, so 101-point lead with under 3 minutes left. So if anybody's upset about me calling it 6 minutes, I'm calling it at 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Optimus Grime going to go to the penalty box as Lodge was knocked down right at the end of the jam.
Yeah, and Optimus Grime, I mean, just look at him. He has put in 100% effort, and there is nothing left in that tank. He is just struggling to get back to the bench, and that's what you want to see. You want to see people leave it all on the track.
Yeah, I mean, this is the last game that you're going to play this weekend. You have a break within whatever your next game is, whatever your next practice might be. Leave it all out there on the floor.
Yeah, take a couple days off, recuperate, then get back with your team and figure out what you're going to do to make yourself a little bit better next year and figure out everything you learned here at Champs. If you're going to watch your games, make sure to hit mute. Don't listen to our advice on this one. All right, Mr. Testosterone will be your lead jammer over top of Beang. And Walker comes in, jumps the apex, and wipes himself out, and Beang laughs at him on the way by. These are I want them to be rivals. Beang looks back and goes, are you just going to call it? I want them to be rivals because they're all, look at this, they're all cool with each other, shaking hands.
I mean, there's a lot of respect from all the teams in this tournament, but definitely you can see the respect between these two teams.
Yeah, there's only a couple teams that really don't like each other.
Right. And, you know, the West Coast is very, very big in terms of states and provinces. As you go out west, the provinces and the states, they just get much larger as the way the country was developed. But these teams are relatively close to each other in that respect. You want to see them have a chance to play a lot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They're both probably going to be in Big O next year, so you're going to want to see them there.
Oh. And a ref goes down, but Zimmer was thrown into the ref, so no penalty will be called on that one. I know that was a big point of contention recently.
Right. We're talking about that video. I actually hadn't had a chance to see that video of contact with the official and expulsion.
Yep, and you know what? We're not referees, and there was a reason behind it, and I've seen it a couple times this year. But right there was completely incidental as Zimmer comes around and picks up lead at jammer.
Nice job by the Aftershocks there as Beang and Blackmail combined on a bit of a C-clamp to stop Iron Fist and give Sir John some room. John still trying to get past Iron Fist and does. Meanwhile, Zimmer is back into the pack on his scoring pass. Under half a minute left here in this game, so Vancouver going to come away with 1 win and 1 loss here in their opening, their debut MRDA championships. Really can't say enough about this team. They've come out, they played a very tough game against a favorite opponent in the Southern Discomfort, Knights of Discomfort, and then they came out here against an established squad in the San Diego Aftershocks and took it to them. Yeah,
absolutely. This and there's the unofficial final 32-128. I don't think anybody thought Vancouver was going to walk in here and really do anything. It's like, oh, it's your first year in. Get your chops wet a little bit. Here you go. No, they came here to play.
Right.
And they just owned that game from front to back. Take away a couple big power jams. they did nothing wrong in this game. I mean, it was a brilliant, brilliant display of power here.
Exactly. I saw the one mistake on Optimus Grimes' jam where the blockers kind of fell asleep and he was able to get through. But that was the only other multiple pass, double-digit jam that the Aftershocks were able to make from a jammer not named Beang. Final point totals, 74 points from Mr. Testosterone to lead Vancouver. 66 from Lodge and 40 from Zimmer. Beang led all point scorers with 93.
93. But look at that. His differential only ended up being 9. So
That's
after
amazing.
all of that, it was only 9. He only got 9 more points than the guys jamming against him. So, really just an impressive game by Vancouver. They will be here every single year going forward, and they're going to work their way up. Nothing but mass respect for those men. Well, there we go, Spider. That is the end of my announcing days here. I can actually go have a drink now of water. Do you have any more games left?
I have the third place game coming up, that Texas Bridgetown game, so you can catch me at 5 o'clock. I want you to stick around for the rest of the feed all day. We've got a great game coming up next between Puget Sound and New York. And then, of course, the championship game will be a must-watch with St. Louis versus your mom.
And again, we want to throw that back out there so everybody knows there are massive rumors, and I don't know anything because I don't want to talk to people about this stuff, but the massive rumors of mass retirements at the end of this season after this tournament, this could be the last time you see the big hitters going after each other. So stick around and watch us. It is going to be an old-fashioned knock-em-out derby bout with the best in the world. It's going to be great to watch.
And also stay tuned for the announcement, the highly anticipated announcement of the location for the 2017 Men's Roller Derby World Cup. I'm not going to give anything away. I love giving hints, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to let any cats out of the bag, so stay tuned for that. We should hear that, I believe, right before our third place game.
Right around there. So stick around, everybody. Thanks for having us.